Firstly, thank you very much, ma'am, for your precious time. It means a lot to us.
I'm happy to be here.
You are doing so much. You are someone who nurtures the society. You help everyone from humans, environment, and animals. But yet, people they just say one side about you, that is loving animals. What we want to see about that?
I'm the longest serving member of parliament in India. I've won 8 times in a row. And you can't win 8 times in a row if you don't do it for everyone. I also run 5 orphanages in Bhadoi as my president of Ragmark, and I've had helped thousands and thousands of orphan children. I also stopped child labor. All the institutions today you see for children in the government were all started by me. Childline, which saves 4 crore children a year. The trafficking laws, all these were done by me, beta. So I believe the heart is a door. It opens for everyone. Otherwise, it opens for nobody. People who say that, oh, I do so much for humans, and then they come back and they eat pork and they eat beef. They actually are, their hearts are just as closed. And they do it for humans only because they can get their name in the papers or they can feel good about themselves. But in actual fact, their heart is as closed as anybody else's.
And ma'am, do you have any backlashes regarding your vegan outreaches?
No, why should I? The point is not to care. You have to first decide what is good for you. And you have to decide what is good for the world. And once you have done your study, because this is not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of scientific study. Once you realize that the less you use, the less that is destroyed. And the less harm and the less suffering you cause. Once you're convinced of that, why should you bother about what anybody else thinks? I don't bother.
And ma'am, in one of your speech, you said illegal animal slaughterhouses, they are funding towards terrorism towards us. Can you speak on that, because we are not aware?
There was a study done by a senior policeman called Shailaja Kant Tripathi in Shailaja Kant Mishra in Uttar Pradesh. He was a DG, Director General, and he did a study in which he found that all the money that illegal slaughterhouses earned in Uttar Pradesh, that money they were giving to the Maoist movement to destroy India. And that money was going for guns. And a large part of our country at that time, before the Prime Minister took such strong steps to stop it, a large part of that was under Maoist rule in Chhattisgarh, in parts of Madhya Pradesh, in Bihar. You know, there was a whole corridor coming from Nepal. And a lot of this money was going for destabilization of India. So people who do bad in one area, beta, and remember this, people who do bad things in one area always do bad things in every area. Let me give you an example. The FBI has put on its list of heinous crimes and people to watch out for, people who beat animals in their homes. Because they have found that anybody who beats animals in their house is going to commit a crime sooner or later. And they have done it through many studies. They have found that somebody who beats a dog will beat his child, will beat his wife, then he will go outside and beat the neighbor, then he will do something else on the road. Ultimately, and this came back because they found that in jails, all those who had committed heinous crimes had started by molesting, beating animals. So the FBI since January 2019 has put this on its watch list because they know कि ये आदमी अगर इधर बुरा है तो वो बाकी सब में भी बुरा करने वाला है. The largest number of crimes in the world are committed within a 1 kilometer radius of slaughterhouses. Because जो आदमी पूरे दिन जानवर को मारता है, the man who kills animals the whole day in the slaughterhouse, is going to come out and then he doesn't worry. He's had a knife in his hand the whole day. He's seen blood, he's seen entrails, he's seen dying animals, he's heard screams, he's seen suffering. He's completely immune. So for him to hit a child, to kill somebody, to rob somebody, to be mean, it makes no difference to him. So people who are bad in one area are bad in every area.
There is a big growth right now in animal cruelty. So many teenagers, they are making videos on social media where they are hitting or killing some animal. It's a very dangerous mindset, and tomorrow, as you said, they might even harm any human. What is your take on that?
No, we are going to have TikTok banned, and after that we will go for the others also.
Right,
I
ma'am.
have decided now I'm going to keep petitioning the government to do something about all these social media things. Even today, there's one on TikTok where a man in Shillong, he has killed a fox and he is standing with the fox and he is looking very happy. And I've talked to the SP and we've had him arrested. Everybody who posts on TikTok or on the Facebook, 95% of people we have arrested. It just depends. Sometimes it takes longer. So if people think that it is, they can get away with it, they can't.
Can you tell us about PFA, People for Animals? What does it do and how does it work?
Well, People for Animals, yeah,
Yes.
it is an organization that does many different things. For one thing, the base level is that it rescues animals and it treats them. We have 35 hospitals and we want more. Every day we think about getting another and another. The second thing we do is we have about 200 units across India. And my aim is to have about 800 units, one in each district. Now, these units are trained by us off and on the laws. They are meant to do A, rescue of animals. Two, they have to work with the administration to see that animal cruelty is stopped. Anti-cruelty, somebody who keeps his dog on the chat and leaves him there for 6 months. Somebody who beats their animal, things like that. Third, to close down all pet shops because they're all illegal now. All pet shops are illegal in India. All breeders are illegal. So they're working now with governments to close those. Then to work with their own districts at policy changing. Suppose there's something to be done and there's a policy. We need People for Animals to be strong enough to work with the administration to change it. The fifth is the sterilization and vaccination of dogs. Our people should take charge of that and be on the committees that oversee it. You know, People for Animals should be a strong movement for good. And I would encourage through you for as many people to join it.
Right. Right.
Another thing I want you to do is, there is an organization, there is a site in Pune. It's called Animal Volunteers of India.in. I want everybody who's feeding animals and who's a volunteer in any form to put their names on this list. There are already 12,000 people on it. But judging by the response of COVID, where I've had to help over 50,000 people, we need all those 50,000 to put their names on it so that we know we have a standing army.
Ma'am, you look after so many issues from humans to animals. How do you cope up with all this stress you have?
I don't allow the stress to get to me. I always, when I wake up in the morning or sometimes when I'm stressed, and when I say to God, "Aur koi murga nahi mila tumhe?" But after that, I realized that I'm doing it because I want to. Nobody is forcing me. I'm not interested in power and in politics as much as I'm interested in helping people or in helping the world. So nobody is forcing me. The day I want to stop, I will stop.
Right.
So why should I get stressed for doing something which I've been put on this earth to do?
So, ma'am, when did you become vegan and why?
Beta, I've been vegan off and on for most of my life. Why I say off and on is because sometimes one gets into a situation where without knowing it, you
Yes.
take something which is non-vegan.
Right.
Have a cake in somebody's house and it's got something in it.
Yes.
But now I'm completely, I've been vegan for some time now. And now I go out of my way to check what I'm eating, what I'm not eating.
And according to what are the changes would happen with you after becoming a vegan?
I don't think many changes happened with me because I've been propagating veganism now for 40 years.
Right.
And Okay, so no changes happened with me because even when I was not vegan, which is when I was vegetarian,
Yes.
I still didn't have eggs. I still didn't have milk.
Right.
It's just that, as I said, that it would be, for instance, once or twice a year, I would have ice cream,
Yes.
especially in my elections when I was really hot and bothered.
Right.
Um, some things like that. But otherwise, I was like 90% vegan. Now I'm 100%.
Oh, that's great.
But the changes that come in people, certainly, is that they become more sensitive. And that's what we need, more aware, more sensitive.
It's like a spiritual journey we are having after becoming a vegan.
Beta, I would like to say that, but one of the criticisms I have of the vegan movement is that veganism, unfortunately, has become another consumer movement. So
Right.
a lot of people spend all their time saying, I want a vegan lipstick and I want a vegan jutas.
Yes.
So they haven't stopped buying and spending. Veganism is supposed to be a spiritual journey, an evolution of the spirit, another level of consciousness. But the whole purpose of veganism is to use little. Mat khao, mat kharido. Use the bare minimum that you can of the resources of the earth. Unfortunately, a lot of people have just changed from a consumer of vegetarian or non-veg products to a consumer of vegan products.
Yes.
And they will go looking. There are now supermarket shelves for exactly the same products which are vegan. There's vegan wine and vegan cheese and vegan clothes and vegan shoes.
Yes.
And the amount of spending is exactly the same.
Yes, ma'am. And
So I'm sorry to have to say this, but people who become vegan should not be consumers anymore. They should now reduce their consumption.
Many of animal lovers and rescuers, including me, many times we suffer from mental trauma because we come across so many cruelty cases and graphical rescues. Do you have any suggestion for us how to cope up with the mental stress?
There is no mental stress, beta. Nobody is forcing you to do it. You have to do it because you have to do it. That is why you were invented on this earth. So, I suggest you learn the laws. 2, always stand your ground. The police will say, we don't know anything, go away, it's just a dog. You stand there, you will tell them the law. You will make sure that the work is done. 3, make a list in the morning. Ye itne kaam karne hain. Now, for instance, in one day, I do between 400 to 600 cases. And I do that because I don't stop for 1 minute. And in the morning I start, it's an email process, plus people phone, plus people come and tell me, and each thing is done. Lastly, I would say, nothing is to be left for tomorrow. You have 1 day in your entire life. Whatever good you're going to do today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Yeah? So if out of say 15 cases, you can do 5 today, do them. Try and do all 15. Try and organize your life so that you have people at any given time who can help you do all 15. But don't say, I can't do anything, today's a holiday.
And veganism is growing very slowly in India if we compare with other Western countries. According to you, what can be the major reason behind it?
Beta, because your vegetarian food, you're already vegetarian. So many people are vegan without even saying they're vegan. Yeah? The second thing, the problem is that the Gujarat industry of milk is very strong in its efforts to make people drink milk. Very few people realize that milk is poison, that it actually kills you, and that there is very little milk in India. Also, very few vegetarians who drink milk realize that everybody who drinks milk is doing the same as people who eat meat. Because as soon as that cow stops giving milk, she will be turned into meat. So it's the same thing, which is why vegetarians get the same diseases as meat eaters, from acne to cancer.
Right.
So if we can somehow give them the scientific side and give them options which are not expensive, but well thought of. Like, for instance, people ask me the question that what should we drink instead of milk? And I'll say, drink nothing, drink water. Why should you have an option to something that is so bad for you? What should I eat? If I were to ask you a question, what should I eat except cyanide? You will say, eat nothing. So milk is the same thing. So don't give them options like almond milk and coconut milk and flala milk. It's too complicated. The option is nothing. Don't drink milk. Eat fruit. Have saag. Have green vegetables. Have 2 rotis. Have aloo. Everything will give you more ingredients and nutrients than milk.
As simple as that.
Now, we make the mistake of trying to devise recipes. Why bother in this country? In this country, every 10 feet, we have somebody with delicious recipes in vegetarian. We have over 50 to 60,000 recipes sitting at home only.
Yes.
So why bother to tell somebody, no, don't drink milk, I'll give you a recipe for almond milk. Why?
Many vegan celebrities and athletes, they are vegan, but they don't come out and speak about it. According to you, what can be the reason behind it? And if you have any message for them?
No, I think most of them come out and speak about it when they become vegan. Now, for instance, Adele has become vegan, and just look how beautiful she's looking. And Mike Tyson, he has become vegan. And just look, he looks now 100 years younger than he used to look. And he's restarted boxing after he became vegan. Clinton, when Clinton had heart attacks and this and that, he became vegan. And look how good he looks now. So everybody says it when they become vegan. It's not that they don't say it. In India, we don't feel the need to say it because we are so used to it.
Yes.
Dal roti to sab log hi khate hain.
Right.
What we should do is make it embarrassing for people who eat meat. It's just a low-class thing to do. Wow. Have dead bodies. It's so dirty to have a dead body on your table. See, you might as well kill somebody and put their dead body on their table. That aap us par mukarte ho.
Right, right.
So we need to go into, when you want to turn people vegan, then you have to go into the cleanliness and the health issues.
Exactly.
But cleanliness itself is more important. It's so dirty to have meat in your kitchen. Even eggs, after all, what are eggs? They're just the period blood of a hen. Who wants to eat the period blood of a hen?
Right. Exactly.
So we need to emphasize more on that. Unfortunately, veganism does 2 things. One, you concentrate on recipes, which are useless. And your recipes are usually raw food recipes, which nobody wants. If I were to be a raw food person, I would not be vegan. I eat well, I eat cooked food. With that, I eat salad. Yeah? But I don't just eat raw food. Secondly, I don't eat substitutes. I don't eat soya bean dahi, and I don't have fake cheese. I just don't have them. Either you eat, cheese, or you don't eat cheese.
Exactly.
And the second mistake you make is that you say, these are vegan shoes, this is a vegan wallet, this is a vegan hat, this is vegan cotton. And so I go out and I buy more. So what you have to do is, A, stop recipes. 2, stop advocating, ye kharido, wo kharido, kuch mat kharido. What is the answer to 100 sarees? None, no more. Jitne hai so hai.
And talking about meat, how crucial is it for us to close down animal agriculture? Because majority of pandemic attacks has come from the animal food only.
Yeah, it's very important for every country to stop its slaughterhouses. It's not just the pandemics. It's also your entire climate change.
Right.
More methane. You know methane, how dangerous it is? It is 24 times more dangerous. Times, not percent. 24 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide. And methane, India holds the key to methane. India, China, Brazil. We are the 3 main methane producers in the world because methane is produced from coal, rice, and animals. And all 3 things we are doing. Now, we can't stop rice because that's a staple. We can't stop coal at the moment. but we can stop animal agriculture. We are the largest meat exporters in the world. Why should we feed the world? What are we getting out of it? Nothing. We're losing our forests, we're losing our entire wildlife. We have conflict with the villagers. We change our weather. For what reason? And it takes 600 liters of water per cow, 6,000 liters of water per cow. Do we have that water? So what we're exporting is not meat, we're exporting water, we're exporting forests, we're keeping our people starved while we feed the rich people of the Middle East. Doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Think about exporting in India. Cows are very sacred. They are known as Gau Mata. But still we are one of the top countries in exporting beef. Accordingly,
It's madness. It's madness. It typifies us as a people. We say we are very gentle, and yet we have such high levels of violence. We say we respect women, and yet during this COVID time, the number of women who have been attacked have been unbelievable.
right.
So as a people, we're getting lost in this, what we think of ourselves and what we actually do.
Yes.
So we need to sort ourselves out. And the first way to start is stop export of meat. I've been advocating that now for 40 years.
Veganism has so many benefits with environment, health, and everything. Tell you how much important it is for India and what can be the benefits of majority of people going vegan in India.
The benefit of if everybody went vegan, or even if 30% or 50% went vegan, you would have an immediate change in climate and you would become normal. 2, you would have much more water to drink and clean water. 3, your rivers would come back to normal. 4, your heating would stop. So you would have much better weather, much better climate, not even just weather. I'm talking about the totality of the climate. 5, you would have forests, because your cattle that are being now created for meat, they go into the forest and they eat all the shrubs. All the goats, all the sheep, they eat the shrubs, so you have no new forests coming up. You would have many more elephants. You would have, it would be the general sum of happiness would be much, much, much more. Because if you have good weather, you have good food, and you have good water, your body cannot help but be happy. And if your body is happy, your mind is happy.
Exactly.
You would have less cancer, so you wouldn't need that many hospitals. You would have much less diabetes. Now, one of the main reasons you get tuberculosis is from meat eating, because most of the animals, most of the cattle now have got TB. So you would have many less diseases. It's not just pandemics like corona. You would have all your diseases would start retreating. You would need less antibiotics because those antibiotics are fed to chickens. I mean, I can't think of a single situation which would become worse. Everything is win-win. And plus for your food, the money you spend on food would become much less.
And what is it India is to learn the current COVID-19 situation?
Well, for one thing, they should learn that they should not eat meat, because eating meat makes them much unhealthier and open to this COVID. Okay. The second thing is we should try and get our air levels, water levels as clean as possible, it's become much cleaner because less people have gone out this time. Otherwise, there's no way that you can defend yourself. If you don't build up your immunity and you ruin your immunity by eating rubbish like milk and meat, and you live in unhealthy surroundings, you are going to be a victim of a pandemic. If it is not corona, it will be sharona. Magar kuch na kuch to hone ka.
And what is your take on economical development is ecological conservation?
It gives you good ecology is good economics.
And talking about many of the world pandemic attacks come from animal food only, but still the scientists and many people are not taking animal food as something serious. What do you want to say about them? And it doesn't seem like to make any changes.
Well, for one thing, a lot of the scientific establishment all over the world are owned by the meat industry, the milk industry. So they are perverted and corrupted into saying things they don't want to say in private. 2, they've got into the habit now of eating. So what we're going to have to now train them is, now to give you an example, in medical colleges, in 5 years, they do not teach you diet. They just teach you how to repair a body. They don't teach you how to prevent medicine because there's no money in that.
Right.
But then if you teach me how to remain well, then a doctor will go bankrupt. So it's in his interest that I become ill.
Right.
Therefore, diet is not taught, or taught very little in medical colleges. Whereas if they follow the GIGO principle of garbage in and garbage out, they will teach diet before they teach anything else in medicine. Because what you put into your body gives you the illnesses you have. So, but I think this will change in future if we bring in cellular meat and cellular milk. And that is where everybody should put their money, their time, and their expertise. We have Indians all over the world. We have about 35 companies working in the world to create meat through the cellular multiplication of meat cells or the cellular multiplication of milk cells. And if we can achieve that, then I would be happy to let meat eaters eat their meat and drink their milk, because only they will get sick, nobody else. It will not create a world crisis. At the moment, the meat and milk is creating a world crisis through water mismanagement, through dung, through methane, through forests, through eating, etc., through energy utilization. For instance, to make 1 kilo of meat takes 11 kilos of grain. Now that 11 kilos of grain can feed a family for 1 month. And that 1 kilo of meat cannot feed even one family for 1 day, because they have to have vegetables with it and roti with it and grain with it. So I'm looking for a future in which there is what we call clean meat and clean milk.
And ma'am, are there any government policy which you want to change with the slaughterhouse?
Yes, I want to shut them all down. That's the government policy. We should not be meat eaters.
Do you have pets or do you have a pet?
I have 28 dogs. I have 15 monkeys who sit on top of my roof and we feed them all. I have a forest which I've made around my house. So we have any number of birds, including grey hornbills, who came yesterday, 28 of them, and ate all my vegetables. We have teal, we have bars, we have crows, I have everything we have snakes. And this is the middle of Delhi, in my house, near Parliament House. It's the only house forest in Delhi. So I don't have any pets. I don't believe in pets. I have people I share my life with. So all the animals I have come to my house because they need help. And they stay if they want to stay.
And ma'am, can you share your diet with us, your vegan diet?
So I have fruit in the morning, and that's all. And I have haldi. I have haldi, and I have fruit, and I have nimbu pani. And in the afternoon, I have 2 chapatis, which are made only of millets, oats, etc. And I have 2 sabzis and a tari. And I don't have dinner.
Do you like any vegan junk food? It is not healthy, but still it is something fun to eat.
I love samosas.
Talking about, ma'am, you have been standing for a long time, but no changes are seen actually. If someone is doing an animal cruelty, he is charged with 50 rupees. So according to you, when can we expect change? Because they do any animal cruelty, 50 rupees fine, and they walk away free.
Beta, I've been speaking in Parliament trying to change this stupid bill for the last 30 years without any success at all. Even when I'm in government, it doesn't change. Even when I'm out of government, it doesn't change. Nobody's interested in changing it. So what we do is we make now we don't use that act. We use section 428 and 429, which is 3 years in jail for being mean to an animal. Okay? And we have other acts that we use.
So if I want to give justice to any stray animal, who has suffered any human cruelty, he was murdered or any assault, then how can I give justice to that animal?
By having the perpetrator arrested so that for the rest of his life he remembers what he did. And that's not too bad. You go to the police, use section 428, 429.
And how can all animal lovers support to make all these laws stronger?
I would suggest that instead of making small groups, they all join People for Animals. I want 1,000 people per district. And I want them all to be in that. They should be trained in laws. They should be trained in how to rescue. And so that when they raise their voice, the local district people listen to them. I want lawyers. I want doctors. I want journalists. I want senior company people. I want students. I want everybody in this. But instead of making small groups of 3 and 4 and 5 people, I want this to be a big movement in every district. So if anybody wants to become a member of People for Animals, they should go to www.peopleforanimals.india.org.
And do you have any message for those animal lovers and rescuers? They do keep goats, dogs, and other animals, but when they come home, they start eating meat and non-veg items, consuming dairy. Any message for them?
They start what? Eating meat?
Eating meat and all.
2 things I have to say. 1, you cannot love one animal and eat another. It's not possible. It's as wicked as anything else. 2, you should not be feeding one animal to another. See, it's different for a cat. But why are our animal feeders now feeding chicken to dogs? Are dogs more important than chickens? Not at all. Chickens are the most intelligent of all. They make excellent pets. They talk, they have a language, they feel jealous, they marry, they have girlfriends, they love their children. So why should we kill them for a dog who's quite happy eating soybean? So we should really look at what we're doing. Unfortunately, animal welfare is not just about dogs. It's about the whole thing. There are 170 things on my list, from whale sharks to elephants. What are we doing to protect them all? And that is what I want my people to do, which is all of you. You're all my people.
Ma'am, to sum up, do you have any suggestion or any answer to both our readers, which are vegans and non-vegans?
Well, firstly, I would suggest that everybody becomes vegan. 2, I would suggest that you learn the law. 3, get into a group, any group, and be very tough. 3, do not put up with cruelty of any kind. Just keep fighting. You may lose a few battles, but you'll win the war. That is what you have to do. If somebody in your building wants to throw out dogs, don't stand for it. And the last thing I want to ask all of you is, what I have learned during this corona crisis is that every man who is foolish, wicked, with a small mind and mean has become the president of the society. Okay? They have nothing to do, they have no power. So they have made themselves president of the society, and they have used this time to be mean to everybody, especially to women and to animal feeders. So the way around this is either we stop the resident societies or we stand for election. I want all the vegans and all the non-vegans who are animal people to stand for their RWA, their society elections. They may lose, but stand. That's much more important than being an MLA, MP, minister. I want all our people to be in the Residents Welfare Association.
We are trying the same actually in society. You have been a feeder and many times you suffer from issues, and your helpline number has always does.
My helpline number, we are very good. Yes, because I follow my principles. Everything is to be done now.
And not just one last, what is your take on empathy and ethics in life?
There is only one ethic in life, beta. And that ethic is, do not create pain. Do not cause pain. Do not tolerate pain. fight against people who cause pain.
Right.
That is the only ethic you should follow. The rest, which is do not covet and do not do, all that is nonsense. This should be your guiding ethic.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And ma'am, do you have any suggestion how we can improve or anything?
I just told you, na, don't bother about diet and don't bother about alternative consumer items.
Right.
Go straight into touching the soul or go into environmental, how we save the environment. And also do an expose every month on which thing, what is it that we don't know. For instance, very few people know that wine, when you make wine, you have to make wine by using fish. You have to. Very few people know that when you put pink on your lips or in a blush on, that you have to kill beetles. You have to, 1,000, that is their blood that you're putting on. You know, very few people know that their diabetes injections that they take, the insulin injections, are made either from cows or from pigs. So you have to take, if you lead a good lifestyle that doesn't give you diabetes, you will save that many cows and pigs besides your own body. Yeah? So if you were to make a list every month of the things that we don't know,
Yes.
you know, then it would help people stop those things.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, which soaps use meat? Most soaps.
And talking about China, we were not aware China bone camel cruelty. Then my mother, she read an article on it by you. Then we stopped purchasing China bone.
I know now all the people who are making plates, they write vegetarian underneath.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am.